Hi everyone, Isaiah Riel here. Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to manage and monitor your own investment portfolio. I'm going to share with you 3 tips that you can use to help manage and monitor your portfolio. And these are 3 tips that I use for myself or for my clients too as well. So by all means, let's go ahead and get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Real Sense Podcast. Wherever you may be, however you may be listening today, thank you for making us part of your day. I'm your host, Isaiah Riel, financial advisor with Laguna Wealth Advisors. And in today's podcast, I'm going to share with you how to manage and monitor your own investment portfolio. So let's go ahead and get started. So as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to learn how to manage and monitor our portfolio here within a few minutes. So I'm going to start with the story here. Let's say you're looking to buy your dream car. You know what it's going to look like, the exterior. You know what the interior is going to look like. You know how it's going to feel when you get in that driver's seat until you put your hands on the steering wheel and you go 60 or maybe 80 on the highway or wherever you are. You have a certain expectation as to how that car is going to drive and how that car is going to feel. And that expectation is one that you hold for the entire time that you're going to have this car, most likely. What needs to happen to make sure that the expectation that you have for owning this car maintains the same? You have to get the car maintenance. You have to go get the fluids flushed, get new fluids in there, rotate the tires, get new tires, making sure the interior stays the same. You have to maintain the car. That takes discipline. Same thing happens with our investments. We have to have a strategy in place, in this case, managing and monitoring our portfolio to make sure that it lives up to what we expect our portfolio to do, or at least to the best of our abilities, and making sure that we keep track of our investments in our portfolio over time to make sure we're on track to reach our goals. So today I'm going to share with you 3 tips that you can use when managing and monitoring your portfolio. Tip number 1 is this. Ask yourself this question. Are you going to be a money manager for yourself? What I mean by that is that if you're looking to do this on your own, this is going to take some time, everyone. And so it's going to take some time out of your week or out of your month to sit down and review your investments, review your portfolio. Am I on track? Do these investments still fit my risk tolerance? Has my risk tolerance changed? Do I need to rebalance anything in my portfolio? And so we have to sit down and take the time to ask ourselves these questions, and that's what a money manager does. And so ask yourself that question. Am I up to the task to be my own money manager? If you are, great. Then I'm going to share with you a couple things that you can do to manage your own portfolio. If the answer is no, you know what? It's too much for me. I want to use a professional, perhaps a financial advisor, to help me with that. Then still, I'm going to share with you a few pieces that you can share with your advisor that you can both use to manage and monitor your portfolio. So that's tip number 1. Number 2 is you have to have a schedule in place, and you have to have a specific schedule as to how you're going to manage and monitor your portfolio. So I'm going to share with you what I use. It's a calendar that I use with my clients of how we manage and monitor their portfolios. So as you can see here, this is an example of someone who's going to be more on the aggressive side, but you can still use this as a model depending on whatever risk tolerance you are. And this person's we're going to be communicating about every 35 days, so about every 5 weeks. As you can see, there's 2 things that remain the same on every single one of these reviews. That's the portfolio review and market update in green and the goals review in blue. So portfolio review and market update, that's important. When you review your portfolio, do a portfolio review on your account. How are my investments performing? Is my portfolio in line with what my goals are? Is my portfolio in line with my risk tolerance? Do I need to make any adjustments to my portfolio or rebalance it at all? Do that during this time. The market update. If you're doing this by yourself, go ahead, read the newspaper or go online, look at articles or magazines, see what's happening around the world if anything pertains to your specific portfolio. If you're working with an advisor, ask them to give you a market update. What's happening around the world that pertains exactly to my portfolio that I should be concerned about or that I should know. So go through that every single time that you have your review with yourself or with your professional. The goals review. So as you can see in number 1, the first review, we need to establish goals first. Whether that's by ourselves or with an advisor. What is our goal? Are we growth oriented? Are we looking to grow a portfolio? Do we have a specific return that we would like to see or a specific dollar amount? Are we more conservative? Do we need to maintain a specific threshold of where we want our account to be? Or do we need to generate income for ourselves on a monthly basis? Is that our goal? So establish these goals and review them every single time we do our reviews, by yourself or with your advisor, to make sure that you're on track. And as you can see in this first review, it's a client onboarding meeting/call. If you're with an advisor, do a client onboarding. See what else you have to do with your portfolio. Is there anything else that you should be aware of when working with your advisor? If you're by yourself, this is the time to make your schedule. So sit down, make a schedule for yourself as to when and what you're going to be doing each time you review your portfolio. Throughout the time, about every 3 reviews, as you can see, do a quarterly performance report. I do this with my clients. I give and share with them a quarterly performance report of their portfolio in detail, but simplified, as to how their investments are performing. How is the portfolio performing? Are we up or are we down for the past 3 months? Do we need to make any adjustments or recommendations to the portfolio? Are we still on line with our risk tolerance? Do we need to make adjustments on that end? So I go over all that with them in these quarterly performance reports. If you're working with an advisor, ask them to do this for yourself too as well. And also too, you can see that I have in purple estate planning, insurance planning, and tax planning. Review these whether it's by yourself or with an advisor throughout the year. Estate planning, am I on track? Do I need to make any adjustments or amendments to my will or trust? Do I need to create one? Insurance planning, am I well covered in case something were to happen to me, knock on wood, for my loved ones to be protected if I were to pass? Tax planning, if I'm by myself, I'm doing this by myself, do I need to talk with my tax professional to make sure that my investment portfolio is in line with what we're talking about tax-wise? Is there anything that I need to be concerned about or focused on? Or if I'm working with an advisor, do I need my advisor and my tax professional to communicate to make sure that I'm on track with my tax allocations and also to my tax goals or whatever you have in mind? So go over that, with your advisor by yourself at least once a year with those things. And lastly, as you can see at the end, the 10th review, or at least the final review, review your goals, reestablish our goals. Did we hit our goals, yes or no? If no, what adjustments are we going to make to reach our goals next time? If we did reach our goals, great. Let's establish some new goals for us to reach in the future. So that's just an example and tidbit as to what we can do when looking at a communication schedule and when managing and monitoring our portfolio. And number 3, lastly, is, my friends, you need to have discipline. You need to be patient when it comes to managing and monitoring. Discipline is key. Just like renting a car, right? With the maintenance, making sure the oil's changed and the tires are rotated. We have to have discipline when it comes to our investments. Take 30 minutes over the weekend or at night after work. Sit down, review your portfolio. If it's once a month or every other month or 3 times a month or even once or twice a year. Make the time, make the discipline, make the effort to sit down and review your portfolio to make sure it's running the way you want to run, and also to making sure that you're on track to reach your goals. If you're working with an advisor, talk to them, communicate with them on a regular basis. Have the discipline to make sure that both of you are on the same page of aligning your goals, to make sure that your investments are aligned with your goals and making sure that you're happy. And also patience. Great things don't happen overnight. Everything takes patience and time. So have the patience within to know that this is going to work along the way. So everyone, I want to share it with you today. This is a very important piece when looking at your portfolio. If you'd like to see it in more detail in my podcast, I'm going to go into more detail into those specific areas of the communication schedule to give you some more ideas and also 2 examples of what you can do or what you can do with your advisor when it comes to these. I want to share with you the most important pieces right now, but I'll go into more detail in the podcast. If any thoughts, with any questions, please let me know. I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day.